This is the 2020 Virtual Sacramento Tip Challenge.
Hey everyone, we are commentating the 2020 Virtual Sacramento Tip Challenge for the youth and adult handling, conditioning, trail, and freestyles. I am Sam Van Fleet, also Van Fleet Mustangs.
And I am Peyton Moretti.
And yeah, we hope you enjoy these virtual classes. These competitors worked really hard with their Mustangs. They've done such a good job. And a big thank you to Isidro Espinoza Horsemanship for hosting this tip challenge. They did a really good job organizing all of it. Amber worked so hard to make sure this was a great event for everyone.
And a big shout out to the tip challenge sponsors, which you will be seeing throughout the video.
And a big thank you to the Mustang Heritage Foundation for putting on events like these tip challenges and extreme Mustang makeovers to help get Mustangs out of holding and into homes. This is the 2020 Sacramento Tip Challenge Youth Division. This is their first class, handling conditioning, and we will be starting it off with hip number 1.
This is Isaac Alfaro with his yearling colt Flag, and his yearling colt is from Red Rock. This is also Isaac's first time, and he's a rookie.
It's so awesome to see more and more youth getting involved in this, and especially if they're wanting to do an extreme Mustang makeover where they want to eventually break the horse to ride. This is a great start into that world, getting them used to all of the ground handling and all of the maneuvers on the ground. Super important in starting a horse under saddle. So for any youth out there that are wanting to do a riding competition, this is a great start for them.
Now this Mustang is putting his head up a little high, so he's having a little bit of trouble putting the halter on. We are now into the pattern class. So right here he is asking his horse to pick up all 4 of his hooves. And this is a great thing for when you have your farrier out, or if you're just trying to clean out their hooves.
We did talk about this in the adult class, but if this is the first video you're watching, this class is to show basic maneuvers that the horse can do, like catching in a pen, picking up feet, trotting in hand, loading onto a trailer, being able to brush your horse, just a bunch of very basic maneuvers. This is to prepare the horse for a future adopter or to be started under saddle. And these tip challenges are really great because they focus a lot on groundwork, which some trainers forget about and seem to lack a little bit of. But I feel like the Mustang trainers have a pretty strong foundation because we work on it quite a bit. Horse stood still pretty nicely for brushing. The backup is a little bit resistant and a little bit crooked.
What judges look for is that the horse will listen to body language instead of having to hold on and pull on their face to get them to back up.
And Isaac is doing such a great job with this little horse. And next up we have hip number 6, Kylie Anderson. She is showing Lindy Hop, a yearling filly from Red Rock. She is also a rookie, so this is her first hip challenge ever.
It's always great to see that your Mustang chooses to stay close to you rather than going off and trying to find other things to do. So that's always one thing that I always look for personally, is that I love seeing when the Mustangs like to stay by your side.
She did a really great job with that release and catch part of the class.
Now we're on to the pattern class, and right now she's shown that she can pick up all 4 hooves.
And again, you do want to make sure that you're on the correct side of the cones when doing these patterns, because everyone does a really great job, but it is the little details that make the difference. The trot was a little bit delayed, but she did pick it up.
This Mustang did stand really nicely for grooming. Now on to the backup. Now on to the last part of the class, which is trailer loading. I had a little bit of a hesitation first loading up. The horse stood nicely in the trailer and backed out pretty decently. No refusals or anything. And that was a great class.
And third to go is hip number 17, Serena Connolly. She is showing Butterscotch, a sorrel 1-year-old colt from Red Rock. She's a rookie, so that means it is her first time competing as well. We have a lot of youth rookies this competition.
Right now she's picking up all 4 of her colt's hooves. He did start to walk off just a little bit right there. Now we're on to the trot. A little bit of a delay, but not too bad to transition into that trot.
She's a pretty solid halt, so now she's gonna show that she can brush him all over.
He's standing very nicely for being groomed. And that's what you want to see. You want to see that your horse will stand to be touched everywhere and not move around.
So a little bit resistance through his head and neck in that back up. It's a little bit crooked. We're gonna see if we'll get a nice pivot. The hind end stayed fairly still in that. And now we'll go on to trailer loading. You can usually tell from about 10 to 20 feet away if that horse is going to resist going onto the trailer, if they're going to get right on. You can kind of see it in their feet if they start to walk up. She had a nice pace going up to that trailer, and he loaded right on. That was a very nice round.
The object of this game is that you guys are going to work as a team, and you're going to get this horse to go over that pole. You're not going to be able to touch the horse. You can't bribe the horse. And there's going to be no talking except for 1 leader at a time. The next thing that we have to do is you guys, as a group, have to come up with a consequence. thinking about communication skills and how horses communicate non-verbally and how important our non-verbal communication is and what we can do with that. Okay, switch leaders. You guys want to have a 1-minute strategy meeting? Yeah, you did it! Woohoo! Well done, guys.
Next up is hip number 20, Josie Donahue with Millie, a 2-year-old filly from Red Rock. And this filly is available, so if you're interested, reach out to Josie and ask for some more information. I do believe she's done quite a few other tip challenges or youth makeovers before, and I believe she's done pretty well at all of them. It's a super cute little filly she has here.
You can really tell from right here that she really trusts Josie and that she loves being around her just because she wants to stick by her side when she's even out in a big round pen.
And she caught her pretty easily. This is a very nice catching and releasing part of the class.
Next up, we're in the second part of the class, and this is the pattern class. So right here she's ground tying her and showing how she can pick up her hooves and bring them forward as well. Great thing for you to teach your Mustangs just so they're really calm when the farrier's out and so they know what the farrier's going to be doing.
I do believe she is the first youth to do that.
Her transition to the trot was very good. She was listening to her handler's body movements.
Very nice pivot.
And now we are on to the last part of the handling and conditioning class, and this is trailer loading. And no hesitation, no refusal, just walked right on in.
A little bit more difficult because it is only a half door. And that was a very nice class from Josie. Next is hip number 22, Daisy Godoy, showing Loba, a 2-year-old filly from Red Rock. And Daisy is a youth rookie, so this is her first challenge ever.
This is her first tip challenge, so this can be definitely a little bit stressful for any rookie.
You want to make sure you're not rushing through it though, because it will get a little bit sloppy and not be as precise, so you want to make sure to do everything as slow and smooth as possible. It's so great to see the youth doing these competitions because sometimes they do even better job than the adults. It's really cool to see their body language develop throughout the course of training these wild horses from the beginning. It really teaches them a lot, and I definitely feel like I can relate to that because I did 3 youth makeovers before I came into the adult, and it definitely helped me grow as a trainer and really understand how to communicate with my horse better. So it's cool to see these youth improve over time.
Now we're on to trail load. It does look like it is a straight load. And some horses, I should say most horses, prefer a slant load just because a straight load can be a little bit more...
It's a little bit more difficult. It's a little bit close, and she does have a ramp. I definitely think that's way more difficult than a step up. And her horse did wait on the trailer until she asked the horse to back up.
And this is hip number 23, Cheyenne Howe, with her yearling colt Journey, and he is from Nevada Wild Horse Range. She is also a rookie, so this is her first tip challenge. And Journey is available for adoption after this, so if you would be interested in more info, you can contact Cheyenne and she can let you know. We are now into the second part of the handling and conditioning, and this is where she'll be picking up all 4 of his hooves. Now here he is being a little curious about what is underneath him, so he is walking away a little bit.
She's doing a good job stretching the legs forward though. Again, you want to make sure that you're not just pulling on your horse's head to get them into the trot. For ground tying, you want to make sure your horse isn't moving their feet. If you think they're going to walk off, I would probably hold the rope instead while you either pick up their feet or brush them. For a really solid ground tie, you do want them to not move a single one of their hooves. And onto trailer loading. Again, we have a smaller load. It is a straight load. It is a step up though, but she was able to send her horse on.
No refusal whatsoever or hesitation, just hopped right up and backing out by the tail, which that's the first time we have seen that in this entire competition. Next we have hip number 26, Naomi Langdon, with Jolene, her 2-year-old filly from Red Rock, Nevada.
She has done multiple tip challenges before. I do believe she's won a couple of them. She always does a really nice job with her Mustangs.
Now this is the second part of the handling and conditioning class,
where they have to show that their horse can walk and pick up their feet and also back up.
Now her horse is doing a really nice job with ground tying, not trying to wander off or move around or anything.
And she set her horse up for the trot off, which was very nice.
Halt was very nice as well. Again with the ground tying so she can groom her.
It's a very straight, soft, and fluid backup. Good, a very proper pivot, and then that'll bring us right into the trailer loading.
Her horse loaded up with no problem, was very forward.
Jay Ballman was destined to work with leather. He's the third generation of his family to go into that craft, learning from his grandfather, Josh.
In my dad's store, I repaired a lot of saddles, and we made a lot of things there too, but it wasn't really creative things, and that's why I wanted to get into custom saddles. I like the creativity of it, and it intrigued me.
So Jay was determined to design and build beautiful custom saddles. Now, horse owners like Bill Mitchell of Cookville drive to Muddy Pond to get just what they want, a saddle that fits both horse and rider. Thanks to the internet, customers don't actually have to come to Muddy Pond.
You know, most people can design their own saddles so that they feel involved in the process. And it's theirs when it's done. I mean, it's their own. Usually no one else has a saddle exactly like that. I love designing new things, and some of my customers have great ideas. Like I learn a lot from my customers because I build it, but they're the ones that spend time in the saddle. So my education comes from a lot of the people that use the saddles. And so I learn something new every day, you know, talking to my customers. That's where my education comes from. I have 1,000 people out there riding my saddles that can give me feedback. That's valuable.
That was a very nice round from Naomi. Next up is hip number 31, Jonathan Mather with Dally, a yearling filly from Nevada Wild Horse Range. He is also a rookie in this competition.
Next, we are now in the second part of the handling conditioning.
Jonathan did a really good job showing that his horse is ready for the farrier. This horse has a super cute trot. Would have liked to see a little bit of a crisper halt, and his horse did tick his hip out a little bit. He's done a really good job with this little horse. She is super quiet. Sometimes those yearlings can be a little bit frisky and energetic, but he keeps his energy super calm, and that transfers over to her. He's working on getting that pivot. And even though it's not a perfect pivot, you can see the effort is there to have it be a pivot rather than just walking out of it. So he will get some points for that. That was a very good attempt.
And now we're on to the last part of the hand conditioning, and this is trailer loading. And both him and his filly did a great job loading up.
That was a very nice first class from Jonathan. Next up is hip number 33, Brooke McNeely with Remy, a yearling filly from Red Rock.
Now here she's showing that she can release her. Right here she's showing that she can release her filly and then after come in and catch her with ease.
It's really awesome that she had her filly come up to her to be haltered. Definitely shows that they have trust.
We're now into the second part of the hand-in conditioning. And this is the pattern class. Right now she's ground tying her filly and showing that she can pick up all four of her hooves. And that her filly will be ready for the farrier. A little bit of walking off.
That was a good halt.
And again, showing her filly can ground tie so she can groom her and touch her all around her body, which she's doing a great job at.
few tiny steps backward, but she did keep the motion going, which was good. And that was a decent pivot. Now she just has trailer loading left.
Timber.
Quiet load up. A really good job with this little filly. It's our last competitor, hip number 34, Laney Patterson, Dakota Spirit, yearling colt from Red Rock.
And Laney is also a rookie as well, so this is her first ever tip challenge. And this horse is available for adoption after, so if you would like to contact Laney for more information. It's super nice to see that he followed to the gate and stayed and waited there for her. Shows a great trust and bond. And they both did a really good job with haltering. Her colt didn't move.
And that was a really awesome release and halter proportion of her handling conditioning class. She just has pattern and trailer loading. Again, it's important to be aware of what side of the cone you're on. She's doing a really awesome picking up feet though. I don't know if that was a sentence. She's doing really awesome picking up feet.
Being a little too curious with that cone, so giving her a little bit of a hard time picking up that back leg.
Her horse thought the pattern was too boring. Had to add a little fun into it.
He's very curious about what is going on around him.
Very nice backup. Into a pivot. I would have liked to see her a little bit more at the shoulder for the pivot. And again, I'd like to see the horse more at her shoulder when she's walking.
And now we're on the last part of the handling conditioning class for Laney, and this is the trailer loading.
And she did a really awesome job loading up. So this is our last youth for the handling conditioning. If you did not yet watch the adult handling conditioning, that video should be up, as well as the youth trail and freestyle and adult trail and freestyle. I do believe there are about 10 youth competitors. They all did such an amazing job in this class. And if you would like, I know it's hard on some of these youth, especially since it's their first time, to leave them a encouraging comment. I know they would really appreciate that. Thank you for watching.
This lifestyle isn't just about riding off into the sunset. It's about pride in your brand and quality in your program. It's about craftsmanship in your tack. The cost? Never the first thought. It's about drive in your veins, determination in your mind, and passion in your heart. It was yesterday, it is today, and it will be tomorrow. Through the rain or the beating sun, from the break of dawn until the job is done. Having passion so deep it runs through your core, even when all else falls short, their well-being comes first. It's blood, sweat, and tears from disappointment to triumph. It's death, new beginnings, it's all or nothing. It's defying the odds when all seems lost, earning your spot regardless of where you stand, never giving up when that's what you want. It's being in the moment no matter what the conditions, accepting the good and never backing down from the bad, reining it all in when it's out of control. It's wanting it so bad you can taste it, giving up everything to perfect it, then loving it so hard it becomes a part of you, because it is you. Pride, passion, drive, determination. And the attitude that when your feet hit the ground in the morning, it makes the devil go, oh shit, she's up.